Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Inside the Shield with Pro Football Moms. I'm your host, Elisha Jarrett. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Rob Vaka, and wow, do we have a treat for you all today. We have Jessyca Campbell, mother of AJ Dillon, running back for the Packers. Welcome, Jessyca.
This is going to be amazing. Thank you, Jessyca. I'm looking forward to this. And for those watching or listening, make sure that you go to brinks.tv. Make sure you register. There's going to be memorabilia giveaways. There's going to be interactive gaming. There's going to be trivia. But you got to go to brinks.tv and register to make sure that you can participate. So, Jessyca, let's get right into it. I remember seeing your son at Clemson. And as you may know, Elisha's son Grady played at Clemson. And now my daughter's a freshman at Clemson, obviously nowhere near the football field. But I saw your son AJ probably in 2017 or 18 latest when Clemson and Boston College played, and he was just fantastic. So let's get into it and talk about, he grows up in Massachusetts, right? He goes to high school in Massachusetts, plays at Boston College. What's that transition like, and what was the experience like? He had so much success at BC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, selfishly, I was very excited because him staying close to home allowed me to get to almost every game. We're big family supporters, so I missed 2 games of his college career. One, there was a hurricane for the Wake Forest game, so that prevented me from going. And the second one, my dad got inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, so understandably, I had to, go to that. But other than that, I was able to attend every game, and I am grateful for it. I have an amazing support staff, and my job, the whole town is really behind him. So it's been amazing. I think staying close to home and being able to go up to see him, every weekend made all the difference in the world because we felt like we were a part of the whole journey. It's very exciting to be a part of it. And my daughter just intrinsically feels like, she's going to play D1 because she knows what that's like. Be an athlete and follow in her brother's footsteps. So I love that. It's been amazing.
That is amazing and absolutely a tremendous blessing when your son has had the career that he's had and mom missed only 2 games. Like, I totally relate to that. I feel totally blessed as well in that I've never missed one of Grady's games. Wow. That's junior high, high school, Clemson, home or away, and now he's been in the league 7 years. Never missed a game. The one game that we missed was the pandemic kept us from being in the stadium. And honey, listen, when I tell you tears, oh my God, you thought I was at a funeral. But you have 2 great reasons for missing those, so I feel you on that. Listen, tell us, when did you think that AJ had potential to play in the league, at the league level?
Great question. When he was little, he's been an athlete his whole life. I thought baseball was going to be what he really loved to do. And then it evolved to basketball, and then it evolved to football. And it just, kind of revolved around those 3 until he really took an amazing liking to football. My husband came into his life when he was a little bit older, and I think introduced the game and been running with it ever since. When he would wake up, so when he was little, he would say, I really want to play this game. I love this game. And I explained to him, it's great to be talented and have natural ability, but commitment is, what it really means to be an athlete and take it to the next level. We'd all played sports, growing up, but I said, when you start waking me up to go, take you to the field and time your splits and to practice and set up cones, then I know you're really committed. And he really started to do that. Reached out to coaches to have him, kind of do some weightlifting and all of that, which we didn't let him do until he went to college. Went to high school, sorry. It was all calisthenics up till then. And when he started to just do it on his own and really commit, and maintain his academics. He really proved to me, that he had what it took to really take this to the next level. We really listened, and we took it seriously. He was very focused. I mean, that's one attribute. AJ is very focused, laser focused. And when he sets his mind to something, it is absolutely don't get in his way, literally or figuratively. He will run you over to get where he wants to go.
That is so true. And that is so funny. I had an opportunity to, of course, watch him, but I went back here not long ago and watched some of his clips. And you just said it, don't get in his way. And he's going to be carrying like 2 and 3 guys with him to get to that next line that he's trying to get to. I mean, definitely, he's strong too. He's so strong.
He definitely has a lower body that I would say is strong.
Yes.
So he goes from Boston College, which had to be amazing for you, right? As a mom, I can hear your accent. I can feel the Massachusetts in you. For a mom to have her son play down the street at Boston College must have been amazing. But when I think about the Green Bay Packers, the first thing that always comes to mind is Vince Lombardi. And right after that, it's Lambeau Field.
I thought he was getting ready to say cold weather.
And I was going to say Lambeau Field is right after that, and Lambeau's synonymous, right, with the frozen tundra. But the reality is that franchise, the green and gold, has such tradition, such history, such cachet, and it's in a little town. I mean, Green Bay is like nothing. It's a little town. I don't mean nothing as in it's not a great place. It's small.
No.
It's not New York. It's not Boston. It's not LA. It's not Atlanta. It's not Miami. It's small. What's it like for AJ to play in that little small place? And what's it been like for you as a mom to see him in his second year now growing into one of the most storied franchises in all of football history?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like that's a multi-tiered question. So,
we got time.
All right. So AJ actually grew up in a town in New London, Connecticut. Even though he went to school in Groton, Mass, he did for his first year in New London. He grew up here wearing green and gold nonetheless.
Wow.
So he was a Whaler, which is where I'm now at the high school in education. I'm the assistant principal. So go Whalers. He's back to his true roots of green and gold. And he has a strong commitment to his community. And he brought that with him everywhere he goes. He actually has a chain that has New London, the New London Whalers logo emblem on it. So he kind of represents that and carries that. He is a small town kid. So when he was blessed enough to be drafted to an amazing community that Green Bay is, and I'd say like family, because that's what it is, he embraced it wholeheartedly. 5 days after getting drafted, he moved to Green Bay. We went online and found an apartment. He moved there, slept on the floor, then bought an air mattress and slowly acquired some furniture. But he is all about, we live in a small town that's 5 square miles. He's all about blending in with the community, providing locally, boosting the economy, going into mom and pop stores, getting to know people, because the amazing tradition that is Green Bay is that the town and the community are his bosses, he likes to say. That he plays for them and they have a say in everything that he does. So he really tries to listen and get to know the people. That grounds him. And coming from such a small community, I feel like that transition actually was easier than he had even thought. And then, from there, he's loved to venture out into Door County. Apparently he's running for mayor
of Door County.
The culture, and really has gotten to love the people, loves Wisconsin, loves where he is. It's just been an amazing experience, and he's recently gotten engaged and, met the love of his life there. So it's very exciting. There's been a lot of wonderful things. Obviously the pandemic has slowed down my visits. As you said, Elisha, like I wasn't able to go the first year, right up until the end. And, this year I was excited to go to Jacksonville, although I wished I could have had a different result in that game, but I'm excited to go to a few more and to see him, really show the world what he has. He's very excited in any role that he has, but to be a part of a team like that with a legacy, and a commitment to his teammates. He's all about that. He talks about the line all the time. The amazing guys on his team.
I love the perspective that he has, that the community and the people in the community are his bosses. That's such a grounding statement. I love that. I absolutely love that. Give us one of your favorite memories, be it, let's talk about since he's been in the league. What's one of your favorite memories since he's been in the league?
Favorite memories since he's been in the league. So I think just all the phone calls, like we're really close. So, I mean, I'd love to tell you he talks for hours and hours at a time. It's not quite that, but I'll get a text here and there, and I'll get a phone call. At least every week we touch base. And he's so close with his little sister. They're 14 years apart, but he calls her and they have conversations. It's his whole world. So he fills her in on the day-to-day, hey, I had a good practice, or, I'm learning. He has such a growth mindset that he'll constantly reflect on things that he needs to do better, or things that he's doing well or hasn't quite attained yet, but is in the process of doing. And he doesn't mind calling me and breaking down film. I mean, it's exciting that he involves us in his daily life. And it might be something like, hey, I went to Costco, or did you know they have one here too? And I went down to Quick Trip and I met 3 people and they had me sign pictures. And, it's just all these little wonderful things that they recognize me now, Mom. It's exciting just to hear those little everyday things. Yeah. I think the thing that warms my heart the most is when I hear people say, we interacted with AJ, what an amazing person he is. He took the time to shake my kid's hand. He, did those kinds of things. So, that warms my heart because, as you know, there's the series of moments in our children's lives, but the person and the people they are and the quality, that they possess, that's the thing that resonates the most. And he really, really loves what he does and is blessed, feels blessed, and, understands that it's everybody. So just keeping me abreast of everything that's going on and all these exciting moments. I remember him saying, oh my gosh, I'm out here, and calling me from the locker room. And there's no fans, or there's the sounds, and he's excited. Then he had another first where he calls me, and then there's some fans, and then another first, Jacksonville, he's like, okay, now it's packed. So it's like all these new firsts. And while I can't experience them all right there by his side, he knows I'm in it. I mean, I carry my 28. I wear it every day. I carry them with me everywhere. So
yes, for sure.
I almost got emotional listening to that. I think what is so raw and so authentic.
I'm so proud of the person he is. I can't help it.
Well, what's so raw and authentic about what you just shared is that fans watch Monday Night Football and they see these gladiators. They see guys who are really strong, really fast, guys who don't look emotional, guys who look very business-like and focused. And I think sometimes we lose the fact that AJ is a son, and he's a brother, and he's a grandson, and he's calling his 14-year-old sister. He's just a dude. He's a dude who happens to be really focused and committed to his craft, and that's football. It's not being a computer programmer or working at Starbucks or being an Uber driver or being a sanitation man or a doctor or a lawyer. He's a football player, but he's your son, right?
Yeah,
and that's what's so cool about what you just shared. Thank you.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, Jessyca, I said this before, but Grady and I, we have this little competition. He's a great cook, right? My son, he's a great cook. I think I do okay, right? So we have this competition, whose lamb chops are the best, or who cooks the better spaghetti. Of course, Mom thinks that it's me, right?
Of course.
And then every now and then he'll call me and he'll be like, Mom, would you fix me? And he wants me to fix him something special. For AJ, when he calls you and say, Mom, will you fix me? What is it that he's looking for?
Oh, there's a few things. I would say probably, mac and cheese is the traditional, like candied yams. Those kinds of things are fun and they remind you of home. Believe it or not, kugel. So I was raised Jewish, so I cook a lot of those traditional meals. And while he was raised that way too, he's kind of Hebrew school's on Sunday, so what can I say? So he likes those little sides, and I think like sesame chicken. He likes, he eats a lot. The boy has not turned down many meals ever, and he's always willing for mom to make them. So when he comes home, he's like, Mom, I know that when he went to college, though, I had to send him that Mott's applesauce. I'm sure you've seen. He's all about it. So he puts it everywhere. One day I didn't have baked cranberry sauce, and he was like, well, I'm just gonna have this, and that's been his go-to. His go-to. He's eats that everywhere. So yeah, that's pretty much him. I have a funny little story though, because when he was growing up, he went to Hebrew school, and it was on Sundays, and he turns to me, he's like, Mom, I really want to play football, and it's on Sunday, and I go, AJ, but I really think it's important, to be grounded, and I'm okay if we need to be grounded in religion, whatever that is. And he says to me, but it's football and it's Sunday. And I said, AJ, if you're not going to do this, you really better be good at this football thing. He looked at me and said, Mom, I'm going to be good at this. And so I have to say he's a man of his word. And he believes in God, and that's above all else, and family. So that's a good thing. But I had to share that because I think that tickles me. He's young, 8 years old or 9 years old. And he's like, I really want to pursue this football thing. And he's been driven ever since.
Love it.
So what was his favorite? I didn't catch it. What was his favorite Jewish traditional food?
Kugel. So
Okay.
it's like a sweet macaroni and cheese. I think blintzes he likes. AJ's never really turned down anything. So I know it's hard to believe that he can eat a lot, but yeah, he likes all kinds of food. He likes it all. I don't know what else do you like. The potato pancakes and with applesauce.
I'm a big potato pancake guy. I haven't had them in years, but I grew up in a pretty.
Oh, come on for Hanukkah! Come on down.
I need to. I really need to, because potato pancakes get a little sour cream on it. That's good stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's good stuff. So, AJ sounds like a terrific son. He's young, right? He's just in the league. He's really in, let's call it the second inning if we're looking at 9 innings. Let's hope he's in the second inning or so of his career.
Sure.
Do you have any idea of what he'll do after football? Because I have this conversation with a lot of guys, and if you think about it, think about your own life for Elisha or for myself. When you're about 30, 32, 33, you're really just figuring out your cadence of life and work, and you're really where you're getting into where you want to be. When AJ's 32, 33, he may be out of football. And
right.
So he'll be starting a next life. What might that look like? What might he do? What might he become? Any idea?
Well, I don't worry at all. Sky's the limit for that kid because he is super driven. He's kind of always been, I see him as an entrepreneur because he's always kind of had his hands in everything. He is interested in financial literacy. He's interested in communications. He loves people. So it'll be something working with people because he's really outgoing. I mean, I see him doing sports casting. I see him, starting his own business. I know he's into the cards right now. He's into the trading cards and he loves it. He loves interacting with fans. So I definitely see him doing something where he'll probably work for himself and probably within sports because he just loves it. And I don't worry. He'll be involved in everything. He takes every opportunity to get to know people and to, learn from everyone. From the person who is like, putting out the balls and the equipment, getting to know them. He values everybody and everybody's job and everything that they do and takes notes. So I feel like at some point he'll be like, you know what, this is what I'm passionate about and just, go to the next thing. But I definitely see it in communications. The boy loves to talk.
Love it.
He gets that from his mama.
No way. Stop it.
I love that. Jessyca, we talked a little bit about game day. But I want to just dive down into that just a little bit more. My son and I have a game day ritual where we, regardless of the stadium, we do a fist bump, either right before the national anthem or right after the national anthem. Wherever I am, he'll come find me, and we do our fist bump, and then I give him 1 or 2 words for that particular game, depending on who we're playing that day. Do you and AJ have a game day ritual at all? And if you do, share that with us, please.
Yes, of course. I feel like that's something you have to have, right? So we call each other right before the game or text each other absolutely everywhere. I make sure he knows where I'm seated, no matter where that is. And when he goes out, he'll point. So in college, he used to do that. He would point to me right after the touchdown or point to me, like, it's coming now, get ready. Anytime they put me in the end zone, it was a problem. So you'll probably never see my seats in an end zone because they learned from the Syracuse game not to do that. He pointed to me with the first carry of the game and brought me the touchdown on the first carry. So ever since then, I was never put in an end zone. So I'll never be there again. But he does this point thing, and that means I love you, I'm with you, I see you. He says to me, no matter the outcome of the game, knowing that we're in the stands, knowing that we're cheering him on, and even if that's from our house, he knows I'm locked in. And then we debrief, Monday morning quarterback every time, the things you did well, the areas you need to grow, and what we need to refocus on to get back, because the game's over, the point's over, everything is done, and we got to move forward. And what can we take away to make us better? So that's kind of been our kind of go-to before and after the game.
For sure. Love it. Love that.
As you were talking, it just, my mind wandered a little bit, and it's really interesting. I've been around sports all my life, like you have and like Elisha has, and your son played multiple sports growing up, and Grady played multiple sports growing up. Mm-hmm. I have a son who is in high school playing football, plays multiple sports, but there's just not quite another sport like football. There's just not another sport that evokes the emotion, the connection, the moments you're talking about where he's pointing at you and he knows where you're at. Try to explain that for me from your perspective if you feel the same way. I just don't see other sports bringing that same emotion.
Yeah, I'm biased, right? I think it's a magical experience. It's something that connects people of all cultures, all race. It's just amazing. It brings them all into one place and has that team family. It's family. Mm-hmm. And he is such a family-oriented person. I mean, if you're going to run through a wall for people, right? I mean, that's basically what you're doing. Yeah. You have to love these guys and support them and make sure, that's what you're doing day in and day out. And the commitment and the love that you have for them, it's your family. And so he is a total family guy and totally focused and committed. And so it's invigorating to see all these people come together from all walks of life, especially now you're talking the NFL from all over the country, all different places, and really come together and connect and be so focused. It's amazing. You go into Lambeau. I was able to go once at the end of last year, and I'm so excited about going more this year. But it's magical. You can feel it. And I know that, the stands are shaking, but you can feel it in your bones. The idea of waking up in the morning and getting game ready. I have hype music and I'm not doing anything, but I'm so excited about the game. I have a series of songs, and I'm getting ready. I put on, and I'm like, all right, let's go. It's game time.
Just not the same with the hype music getting ready for the baseball game. It just isn't.
Yeah, no, it's just not the same. And it was exciting. It's not that same level of intensity. I feel like there's just nothing that replaces that, So I agree with you completely.
Absolutely.
We're not crazy. We're on the same page.
No,
Rob,
for sure.
I'm with you.
For sure. If AJ is in a different room from you and he's asked the question, give me one sentence about your mom, what do you think he'd say?
I'd say my mom's my biggest supporter. She's my day one. Because there's nothing I wouldn't do. When I'm going to get all choked up. When the pandemic happened and he He went to Green Bay. I drove 17 and a half hours in a car. You know, there were no hotels open on the way, and just to see him and make sure he was good to go, make sure, you know, lasagna was in the freezer, and, you know, those things that moms do.
Yeah.
Sent out everything that I could just to get him set up, and he just knows there's nothing that would stop me. If he said, I need you there tomorrow, we figure out a way to get it done. So he knows that, you know, he's got support. I will always stand beside him. I don't always agree, maybe, but I will always support him and, you know, try to counsel him through anything. So I think that's what he would say.
That is one of the most beautiful things as I think about the name of our show, right? Pro Football Moms. There's just something about moms and kids. It's not that your son's an NFL player. It's just the special bond that mothers have with their children. Talk about, you know, AJ running through a wall, and he can physically do that. But moms will just run through a wall to protect their kids, to help their kids grow, to enable their kids, to make sure they're okay. And I really love and respect that about you ladies. I really do. As we wrap up here, and we have this little emotional thing going, I'm like emotional. You're emotional. You're emotional. We're the emotional kids. I got to like take a Valium or something. We've talked about AJ as a son, as a brother, as a player, as someone who has gratitude, who wants to help people, who wants to work with people, who might, you know, be an entrepreneur later in life. If you looked into a crystal ball 30, 40 years down the road, what will AJ's legacy be? What will people say about AJ Dillon, the person?
They'll say that he's a hard worker, that he left it all in the field, in the classroom, wherever he is, he does it 100%, 110%. And, you know, that he would bring anybody up with him. I mean, he's one of those people who believes in like helping the next person and, you know, just sharing the moments. I know like a while back, he called me and was like, oh, you know, there's a person who's in a kind of a bad situation and I'm going to get a jersey. I'm going to get people to sign it. I just feel like I have to do something. He's compelled to do, you know, service for others. So I think that, because he's so much more than football, you know, it's a thing that he does and he loves, and it's a part of his being, but it's not all he is. And that's not all that defines him. And I think it's amazing that people get to see the football player. I just can't wait for them to meet the man, because he's truly amazing. So I think they're going to see there's so many dimensions to him as a player and a person.
That is absolutely amazing. Before we let you go, give us one little nugget, maybe a little secret that AJ would be like, Mom, why did you tell them that?
Oh man, where do I start? Okay, so here's the secret. He's going to kill me. So as I told you, he's an amazing kiddo, and he and his sister have a bond like no other. He calls her every week just to talk to her and check in on her. I think they're 14 years apart, so she's going to be 10 soon, and she's, you know, he's like, how's your first day? Break it down for me. Take me through the day. I mean, it's intense. It was the first day, like break down the film, right? So whenever he travels to any game, they have these two, I don't know what they are. They're stuffed animals that we're matching, and they each have one. He packs it with him and brings it anywhere. And so when he gets to wherever location he is, he'll FaceTime her and go, okay, we're here, we're safe. And I've just let that out. I don't know. It's not very.
I love that.
We got to make sure we got it all here. What's the name of his stuffed animal?
Paxo.
Well, his is Olivia, and my daughter has AJ.
Oh,
so.
Okay.
And when did they get them?
He got it for her when she was born.
Oh my goodness.
And when he went away to school, he said, I will always be with you, and we're connected. They like interlock. And he said, anywhere big I go, you're with me. See, I'm going to get all worked up. So I don't know if he really wants the whole world to know that he has a stuffed animal.
They know now. I want to know if that thing goes through a car wash or he bathes it, because it's 14 years old, and is it the same color it originally was?
I love
So
it.
far, so good. But he doesn't sleep with it. He does it for the picture, and then
like that we know of.
We may have to get him on a live stream with that stuff down at some point.
Oh no.
Jessyca Campbell, mother of AJ Dillon, running back for the Green Bay Packers. Thank you so much for being with us today. You are amazing.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and good luck with everything.
Thanks, Jessyca.
This is fun. Thank
All
you
right,
so
bye-bye.
much.